Mike Tyson offered $700 million for Jake Paul rematch. Says Saudi Arabia's Turki Alalshikh has given Mike Tyson the opportunity of a lifetime to accept a rematch with Jake Paul and potentially earn a staggering $700 million.
People are just really hating right now. Like the haters are running wild.
What are you saying to the feedback on the fight that you're getting?
I'm not saying anything.
Nothing.
I don't need to say anything.
As per the latest reports, Turki Alalshikh has offered a whopping $700 million deal for a rematch between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. Last month, 58-year-old Tyson and 27-year-old Paul faced off under modified rules, each donning heavier 14-ounce gloves. Despite the build-up, Iron Mike fell short on the judges' scorecards, losing 8-0-7-2 and 7-9-7-3 twice. By the time the match wrapped up at T Stadium, waves of fans had already started heading for the exits. Boxing pros were also disappointed with the fight.
Following the Tyson fight, tell us, exactly why, expound on that.
Because why would he even want to fight him? And who told Mike Tyson to fight anyway?
Do you think that it might have tarnished Mike's legacy in a way?
Yeah, they did. They definitely did.
While the bout itself lacked excitement for many, the real disappointment lay in watching a boxing legend endure another loss. Fans may only glimpse a shadow of the former world champion's glory, but His Excellency, Turki Alalshikh, remains steadfast in his belief in the veteran's potential, driven by faith and vision. He holds a plan to reignite the champion's path to victory. FTV Boxing reported that Turki Alalshikh offered Mike Tyson $700 million to fight Jake Paul and win by 3-minute KO in a rematch, stating, "Jake Paul is a joke. I am giving Mike Tyson $700 million if he agrees to fight Jake Paul this time in a real fight and wins by KO in a maximum of 3 minutes." Turki Alalshikh said. They ended their post with a question, will Mike Tyson accept the challenge? That's not it. Jack Lombardi had confirmed this back in November. He wrote on X that Saudi billionaire Turki Alalshikh has made a staggering $700 million offer to Mike Tyson, proposing the prize if Tyson agrees to a rematch against Jake Paul and secures a knockout victory within 3 minutes. Would you tune in? Curiosity looms about what lies ahead following the Tyson versus Paul clash. Whispers swirled that the boxing icon might have stepped into the ring purely for the payday, fueling these rumors with debates among fans about their earnings. While unofficial sources suggested Tyson would pocket around $20 million, Paul himself claimed during a pre-fight press conference that he was set to earn $40 million. Yet, when stacked against the monumental offer from His Excellency, Turki Alalshikh, those figures pale in comparison. Tension appears to simmer between the Saudi advisor and the problem child. A notable example surfaced in October as online chatter buzzed about a potential Jake Paul versus KSI fight. During this hype, Alalshikh weighed in, saying, "I think he doesn't like me right now and hasn't for the past 2 months. I'll be honest, I like him as part of the younger generation, and he has a lot of fans. My kids are among them, but I think he needs to decide what he really wants," he added. "If he wants to be a real boxer, he needs to take on big fights against boxers, not treat it like a show. That's my opinion because it's damaging to boxing," he continued. "I know he doesn't like this, especially what I said about his last fight. I said it wasn't boxing, and I'm not joking. If he wants to continue in this field and be part of real boxing, he needs to fight real boxers." When asked if he would support a fight between the two social media stars, he said, "No, I would never support something like that, even if it's popular with people. I do boxing, not shows." Turning to the new offer under scrutiny, there is a faint shadow of doubt surrounding its legitimacy. The offer's authenticity remains unconfirmed, urging fans to approach the news with caution. Yet, if it turns out to be genuine, it could mark a significant upswing for Tyson, offering both the chance to settle scores with Paul and secure a hefty payout. However, it raises a curious question: why is Turki Alalshikh so invested in making this happen? At 43 years old, he's a passionate boxing enthusiast on a mission to bring the sport back to its golden era. His goal isn't driven by financial gain, but by a desire to reignite the sport's former glory and make it even more captivating for fans. Here's what Mike Tyson had to say about him: he just wants. He's not looking to make money. There's no way he's looking to make money, but he's just making boxing a better sport right now. Did you know most fans remain unaware that Turki Alalshikh is a devoted admirer and staunch supporter of the baddest man on the planet? In fact, he personally called Tyson before the fight against Paul to fire him up and boost his morale. Tyson's team recalled it. His Excellency wished him the best, told him how proud of him he was, and gave him a big pep talk. It appears the $700 million proposal is driven in part by Turki Alalshikh's deep passion for preserving the integrity of boxing and in part by his admiration for Tyson. However, whether Tyson will seriously consider such an offer is uncertain, given the challenges he faced leading up to the fight, most notably his advancing age and a recent ulcer flare-up. Iron Mike Tyson stands to earn a staggering $700 million if he takes on Jake Paul in a highly anticipated rematch and emerges victorious. The blockbuster deal underscores the Arab nation's rapid rise as a global hub for boxing extravaganzas. The November bout drew heavy criticism, with allegations surfacing that Tyson intentionally threw the fight.
What did you think of the fight?
It wasn't a good one.
It wasn't a good one.
No.
Yeah. Overall, how'd you just see how Jake fought, how Mike fought?
Well, you can tell something was wrong with the Tyson leg.
That the knee.
So he couldn't. His balance was off.
Oh, that's crazy. You noticed that. I just talked to his trainer and he told me that exact thing.
Yeah.
His balance was off.
His balance was off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. Overall, how do you see Jake growing from this, and who do you want to see him fight against now?
I'm like, he's a pretty good fighter.
One of the conspiracy theories suggests that he held back from truly engaging with Paul in order to secure his paycheck after a strong first round. He seemingly chose to pull his punches, but now it seems the Saudis are gearing up to deliver an unforgettable sell. However, Mike Tyson may not be the real obstacle in this rematch. With a dominant victory and a hefty $40 million payday, Paul has little incentive to step into the ring again, particularly if the first fight was rigged. Another obstacle might be the tension between the 43-year-old Saudi government official and the YouTuber turned personality. The official feels that the 27-year-old harbors resentment toward him, believing it stems from his suggestion that the YouTuber should challenge real boxers. Meanwhile, Jake Paul, the YouTuber turned boxer, has confidently named Anas Jib the leading influencer boxer globally, citing his own decision to retire from the sport as a key factor. With a notable 1-1-1 professional record, the problem child has quickly made his mark in the boxing world since his debut 4 years ago. At 27, he has earned notable victories over legends such as Anderson Silva, Nate Diaz, Tyron Woodley, and Ben Askren. In his most recent fight, he secured a unanimous decision victory over former heavyweight champion Mike Tyson. Paul admitted after the bout that, despite their passionate pre-fight discussions, he had no desire to knock out Tyson after realizing the boxing icon was having trouble because of his advanced age. "I wanted to give the fans a show, but I didn't want to hurt someone that didn't need to be hurt." There was a point where Tyson was not engaging back. I could just tell his age was showing a little bit. That violence war thing went away as the round went on. "People just love to hate me," he reflected. He added, "I intentionally say things for people to hate. That's what I like to do. If people want to see more, give me a couple of months. I tried to give the best fight I possibly could. When someone's just surviving in the ring, it's hard to make it exciting. I don't care what people have to say, it is what it is." Before rising to fame as a boxing sensation, Jake the problem child Paul was already trading blows with other influencer boxers. His journey began in 2018 with an exhibition match against DG, followed by a professional debut in 2020 against fellow social media star Anas Ongib. Following his stoppage win over Gibb, Paul took on ex-NBA player Nate Robinson, delivering a knockout in the second round. Since those early bouts, he has continued to challenge notable figures in the world of combat sports, determined to establish himself in the boxing arena. The announcement was made by Paul's most valuable promotions that the problem child has retired from influencer boxing and is now being replaced by his former rival Gibb. Flashback Friday to when Jake Paul was an influencer boxer, the MVP wrote on Instagram as a gesture of nostalgia. They added, 2 fights, 2 KOs, the best there was, is, and ever will be. Jake Paul retires from that sport. They need him, he doesn't need them. Hence why they said his name 400 times this past week. Gibb is the current best in that sport. Gibb emerged victorious over Slim Albahar, putting an end to their heated rivalry and securing the Misfits middleweight championship in Qatar. Although one judge scored the bout a draw at 7-6, 7-6, the other 2 judges ruled in Gibb's favor with scores of 7-8, 7-4, and 7-9, 7-3, respectively. Following the bout, Gibb stated, "From meme to the best, I'm the best fighter in influencer boxing. I've taken out 3 promotions, and I'm happy to be the Misfits champion. He was a great opponent, good boxing ability, and a great team. He made me train hard, and it was a great fight." Otto Wallen recently expressed his views on the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight, asserting that the former Disney star would have no chance against the prime version of Iron Mike. Although the Swedish boxer was disheartened to see a 58-year-old Tyson step back into the ring, he was nonetheless pleased that the legendary fighter was earning big from the event. Although many were excited to witness Tyson's return to the ring, there were concerns about his health and safety when facing a 27-year-old opponent. Wallen, it seems, was one of those who had reservations about Tyson stepping back into the ring. In an exclusive conversation with Sports KMMA, the Swedish fighter expressed his views on the Paul-Tyson matchup, asserting that a prime Iron Mike would have effortlessly dispatched the problem child. He remarked, "The fight was pretty sad. I think Tyson is just a shadow of his former self. Jake Paul wouldn't last 10 seconds with prime Mike Tyson. It was kind of sad to see him in there, but at least he made good money. That's good for him. But fighting-wise, it's up to Tyson what he wants to do next. But I'm certainly hoping he'll retire during the same interview. Otto Wallen offered his insights on the possibility of Jake Paul facing Daniel Dubois following his win over Mike Tyson and gave a clear prediction for how that matchup would unfold. After defeating Tyson, the IBF Heavyweight Championship challenger Paul extended a real opportunity for him to compete for a world title, though Paul accepted Dubois' challenge. The bout seems improbable as the 27-year-old is not currently ranked in the IBF standings. Wallen discussed his thoughts on a potential Dubois-Paul bout with Sports KMMA and forecasted a swift win for the Swede. He said, Daniel Dubois and Jake Paul. That fight would never happen. Dubois would take him out in 10 seconds. Meanwhile, Jake Paul and his most valuable promotions have released an official statement addressing the swirling rumors and allegations casting doubt on the authenticity of his recent fight against Mike Tyson. Despite the win, the event has been met with harsh criticism, as many question the fairness of the highly publicized match, which was viewed by millions around the globe. Online forums were flooded with accusations that the Paul-Tyson fight was staged, while the theory was largely dismissed. Lingering skepticism about the genuine nature of the contest persisted.
Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson was 100% scripted. Mike Tyson repeatedly bit his boxing gloves throughout the fight. When fights are scripted, fighters do weird gestures to signal that they're hurt. It's very possible Mike Tyson was biting on his glove to tell Jake Paul to calm down. Now, if that's not enough proof that this fight was scripted, in the middle of the fight, Mike Tyson is literally talking to Jake Paul while they are clinched.
Some speculated that Paul might have purposely eased up against Tyson. This possibility was brought up by seasoned journalist and ESPN boxing expert Mike Coppinger during a discussion. However, former two-division world champion Timothy "Tim" Bradley quickly countered this idea, offering a different perspective. Mike Coppinger released a video of the discussion from ESPN Plus's State of Boxing from the start. Coppinger emphasized that he holds no ill will toward Jake Paul. The Ohio native delivered exactly what his audience craved. The bout with Mike Tyson was specifically tailored for the casual fans of boxing. Jake Paul clearly carried Mike Tyson, said Mike Coppinger. However, a few conversations and posts on social media shocked him. Mike Tyson must have gone easy on Jake Paul, according to random users. Alternatively, that the bout was rigged. No, it was Jake Paul actually going easy on Mike Tyson, stated Coppinger, highlighting how Mike Tyson was way past his prime. Iron Mike was only a shadow of the person he used to be. Coppinger went on to explain how Jake Paul had the opportunity to knock out Tyson in the first round itself if he had so desired. Although the ESPN Boxing Insider praised Jake Paul's unparalleled promotional talents, he couldn't help but voice his frustration with the event itself. It was not boxing at all. It was kind of a sad event. I don't want to see any more of these events, he said. But Tim Bradley felt otherwise. Coppinger, you're telling me that Jake Paul let off the gas? That seemed just too unbelievable, Bradley told Mike Coppinger. That's Jake Paul at his absolute best, he added. Bradley emphasized that the turning point occurred when Jake Paul experienced the sheer force of Mike Tyson's punch. That moment shifted Paul's perspective, and he opted to avoid any close quarters confrontation with the legendary heavyweight. While Tyson frequently attempted to close the distance, Paul skillfully maneuvered, slipping away and darting around the ring. Coppinger countered when Tim Bradley stated that Jake Paul didn't want any part of an exchange with Mike Tyson. The ex-welterweight champion went on to suggest that Paul might have been trying to dodge a knockout. This prompted Coppinger to label the idea as delusional. Bradley quickly fired back, noting that fans often messaged him asking if the November 15th fight was staged. He would always reject the accusation firmly. But why? He said, that's Jake Paul at his absolute best, adding, Jake Paul got caught when Mike. Coppinger retorted that Paul went to cut some slack for Tyson. That wasn't the case. Timothy Bradley shot back. Coppinger wanted an explanation because knocking out a 58-year-old former champion would have been a horrible look for Paul. Bradley disagreed. He said, knocking out Mike Tyson would have helped Jake because he would have been the biggest villain in boxing and sporting history. Mike Coppinger maintained that what Paul did was to show compassion towards Mike Tyson. Jake Paul declared after the bout that he had no intention of knocking out Mike Tyson. He said, I wanted to give the fans a show, but I didn't want to hurt someone that didn't need to be hurt. With 12 fights to date, the YouTuber turned boxer has been active since making his professional debut in 2020. Paul started his career by stopping a former basketball player and another YouTuber before starting to face previous MMA professionals. He knocked out Ben Askren in the opening round, then followed up with consecutive victories over former UFC welterweight champion Tyron Woodley, leading to what many saw as a significant challenge in the form of MMA icon Anderson Silva. However, Paul was able to disprove the skeptics and control most of the action, defeating Silva via unanimous decision. The problem child faced his first professional boxer, Tommy Fury, in a highly anticipated match. Although he scored a knockdown in the final round, he ultimately lost the bout by split decision, marking his first career defeat. Paul resumed his typical approach of challenging MMA fighters, securing a unanimous decision victory over Nate Diaz. He followed this up with a series of impressive first-round knockouts, taking down professional boxers Andre August and Ryan Borland. He was originally scheduled to face boxing icon Mike Tyson in July, but when Iron Mike had to delay the fight, former UFC fighter Mike Perry took his place. Paul went on to secure a knockout victory in the 6th round. Despite widespread criticism from the boxing community, the Tyson fight went ahead in November. Paul dominated the now 58-year-old fighter, securing a unanimous decision victory. From the very beginning, Paul's boxing journey has been closely scrutinized. Legendary boxer Roy Jones Jr. shared his succinct view on Paul's skills with just 4 words after observing his career unfold in recent years. Speaking to Boxing Unleashed, he said, "He can actually fight. The fight was billed as the fight of the decade in boxing, yet the spectacle didn't live up to the hype." Since the conclusion of the fight, voices across the boxing world have weighed in on the spectacle, with many commenting on the striking contrast between the 27-year-old former YouTuber Paul and the 58-year-old Tyson, a former heavyweight champion revered for his legendary career. Despite his iconic status, Tyson appeared uncomfortable in the ring during his first professional bout in nearly 2 decades. Tyson has always been an iconic inspiration to those chasing greatness in the boxing world, including Gervonta Tank Davis, the reigning WBA lightweight champion. Davis, known for his fearsome knockout power, delivers punches that cut like blades, and his sharp words carried just as much impact. He told Mike Tyson to fight anyway. Davis asked rhetorically in a recent interview. He added, "Yeah, the fight tarnished Tyson's legacy." It definitely did, for some money for Davis. The reported $20 million payout for Tyson seemed insignificant when weighed against the powerful nostalgia and emotional attachment tied to the peak of Iron Mike's career. Tyson ruled the boxing world in the 1980s before in 1992 conviction abruptly derailed his rise. Despite this, Davis too has acknowledged Tyson's profound impact, recognizing him as a fierce competitor who amassed an undefeated 3-7-0 record from 1985 to 1989. For Tyson, the financial gain was unquestionably worth it, particularly after his May medical crisis, which caused him to lose a considerable amount of weight and necessitated 8 blood transfusions. While his reputation may have suffered a slight blow in the short term, it appears that with time, the damage will likely be repaired.
People were out there saying, "We think Mike's too old for this fight." Tell them what you think about that.
If you think I'm too old for this fight, you need to come tell me in my face.
Whoa.
I love you, Mike.
Same.
And I'm very nervous for you. And I care about my brother. And I know the path he's on right now. And it's ruthless. You got to take him serious, Mike.
I take him extremely serious. These people don't take him serious. This is what I learned through my 58 years of experience. Anyone's capable of killing you. So you should be apprehensive for anyone.
A fresh perspective on the bout is offered by UFC star Shai Ali and his coach Tim Welch, who speculate that things might not have gone as planned. Mike Tyson's performance has sparked significant criticism, with many questioning his lack of the explosive aggression that once made him a dominant force in the ring. The former heavyweight champion, renowned for his brutal knockout power, appeared unusually subdued during the bout. Meanwhile, Jake Paul's ability to hold his ground against a seasoned champion has raised suspicions, prompting some to wonder if the fight was manipulated. The flow of the fight sparked doubt among some observers, with accusations that the fighters prioritized entertainment over intense competition. However, former UFC bantamweight champion Shai Ali and his coach Tim Welch offered a contrasting view on their YouTube channel. The duo voiced their disappointment regarding the allegations of match fixing that emerged after the bout. Although they enjoyed watching the match, Ali stood up for Tyson's performance, commending him for lasting all 8 rounds against a much younger rival despite battling serious health issues in the lead up to the fight. Tyson demonstrated impressive resilience, delivering a competitive showing. Ali, speaking candidly, said, "People still say this, the Mike Tyson one was rigged. It drives me crazy. I'm like, bro, they were trying to knock each other out in there and I'm sure war like no." Joe Rogan, the UFC color commentator and longtime admirer of Mike Tyson, was one of the most vocal figures expressing concern about the fight throughout the buildup. Rogan openly questioned the matchup, often sharing his apprehensions. However, during a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, he expressed his relief after seeing Tyson come through the bout without any serious injuries. Joe Rogan has frequently voiced his strong opposition to the fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. On the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, Rogan shared his concerns about the matchup, particularly given that Tyson, at 58 years old and recovering from a recent medical scare, was set to face a young active fighter like Paul. Rogan emphasized that his main worry was Tyson's safety, considering the potential dangers for someone of his age and current health status. In a recent episode, Rogan reflected on the bout and expressed his relief that it ended without any major incidents. He said, "But the reality is Mike is 58 years old and I was worried, you know? I just love that guy. And he was a hero of mine when I was a kid. So to see him, 58 years old fighting Rogan, took time to commend Jake Paul's ascent in the boxing world, even as he admitted his worries for Tyson. He commented, "I don't have anything against Jake Paul. I like Jake Paul, and I think what he's doing is genius. I think what he's doing is he's making insane amounts of money. He's having a great time, and he's a legit boxer. He's absolutely a legit boxer. Meanwhile, Jake Paul has made Tommy Fury an incredible $8 million offer for a Netflix rematch in their previous meeting in February 2023. Tyson Fury's younger half-brother narrowly prevailed in Saudi Arabia. Paul suffered his only professional loss at the hands of the British boxer via split decision. Since that setback, the problem child has made a remarkable comeback, securing 5 consecutive victories over notable opponents such as Nate Diaz and Andre August. His latest achievement came earlier this month when he defeated former world heavyweight champion Mike Tyson, who, at 58, is more than 3 decades older than him. Millions of fans flocked to Netflix to watch the event, but things could have unfolded differently if Paul had accepted a reported $8 million offer to face Fury on the platform. "I offered Fury $8 million to fight on Netflix," he revealed in a now-deleted X post, as reported by the Express Us, referencing Fury's upcoming bout with ex-UFC star Darren Till. Paul continued, "He turned it down and is now fighting an MMA fighter. Now tell me who is running stupid daddy-controlled kid protected from the inevitable." Earlier in the year, the YouTuber turned boxer remarked, "We all know everyone tries to price themselves out if they don't really want to fight and hide behind that. I'm on a different mission to become world champion. All doors for Tommy lead to me. I can do whatever I want. You think there's more money? Cool, bring it to the table. Oh, you can't? You haven't brought anything to the table. Please shut the F up." Then Nikisa Birin, Paul's business manager, had earlier asserted that his client was willing to engage in a brawl with his opponent. He stated he's willing to fight him in boxing, and if Jake wins, he's willing to enter the smart cage in the PFL with Tommy. There's a path there where it's $20 million in guaranteed money. The 27-year-old is being courted by a slew of potential rivals, with 5 world champions issuing challenges in recent weeks. Among them are Daniel Dubois and Artur Beterbiev. Dubois was told to get in line, with Paul saying, "Man has been boxing for 12 years, has over 100 fights between amateur and pro, and fought on my undercard. Ha 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 ha. But I'm going to have Nikisa talk to Frank Warren and get you in line for the throne. Unlike Artur. At least you have a few thousand fans, so that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos.